Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take another look here at SUI, see what's going on. It's performing in obviously one of two ways. It didn't break that resistance at 332 and retest as a support. It effectively broke down with Bitcoin, pulled back to this 0.236 fib level, about 290 and since bounced. So that's kind of standard procedure. Again, this isn't just like magic because it's a fib level. A lot of it hinges on the simple fact that we saw some support here recently when the price retested that level. We got some control there, so to speak. I believe there's some open interest at that level, so we'll double check that as well. But I just want to say thank you. Awesome. Appreciate everyone doing a great job about liking the videos and or commenting below. You are what makes my life great, so I deeply appreciate being a part of yours and appreciate you sharing part of your time with me, essentially, and hopefully learning as much as you can. So when we look at SUI, the easy way to understand it here is that there's liquidation in the up and downside, upside, downside. Obviously, there's more to the lower levels, but I still am not super, I don't subscribe to the idea that we're going to see tremendously lower price point from SUI unless Bitcoin makes a run towards lower 80K range. If that happens, we want to be prepared for it. Just know 240, 260, those two heavier areas there. But the overall sentiment is that majority of the heavy liquidation to the upside has been swept, and we're just kind of seeing some sparse areas of liquidation. So the good news is here with that not being like super close or with a super heavy concentrated, we don't have to worry too much about the price of SUI ripping down, right? I think that's a low probability. So having taken a look there, we can recognize as well that the delta is roughly where it should be, kind of right in the same range here as before. If we look at open interest as well, we can see, kind of make it a little easier here, we can see the most amount of open interest is somewhere in the 305 to 325 range, okay? So some folks are underwater taking longs at 325. Again, breakout trading is not recommended, folks. I try to recommend you don't do that. While there was a couple of instances recently where breakout trading does make sense, you want to wait for a retest of that previous resistance as a support before you do so. So hypothetically, the price breaks above this 325, 330 range. Let the price consolidate above that level, and then you take a trade to ensure that that resistance turns into a support and effectively holds, right? Breakout trading, essentially, in most cases, minus the last 72 hours, is generally unfavorable. So try not to think that just because you had some luck to the upside here recently, maybe taking a breakout trade, that it's always going to remain the same. It's a much lower success rate than waiting for confirmation is. Granted, you'll find more opportunities, but you'll find more stop losses too. All right. And that's under the impression you even use a stop loss. Most people that are breakout traders will trade without stop loss. They'll use cross leverage and they'll keep adding to their position as the price goes down to save their trade. Inevitably, that's going to bite you in the butt if we have another issue like FTX, for example. While I don't foresee that happening, Bitcoin could drop its bottom and make a run towards the downside. And if so, I do think we are likely to see 230, 240 range again. Again, for the most part, that's less likely. But we've still got to leave it on the table and not be just blindly bullish, right? So let's take a quick look at potential for blindly bullish or otherwise, right? When we see here we're above all moving averages, that's generally a very positive sign. It implies the price is more likely to go up than down. But you got to recognize that 20-day SMA is so far away that it could literally come down to 230 and still be bullish. That's the crazy thing about the situation here. Good news is we're still over 70 on the RSI, generally implying that you shouldn't necessarily consider securing profits if you're planning to hold SUI for a longer period. Okay, so longer term trading essentially is confirming that we're still in good shape even though it's pulling back. We haven't hit that level, and that's usually a sell signal if you cross below 70. That's just how I look at it. 4-hour time frame I think is more indicative. This is probably going to tell us that we've lost that level, and in turn you should have secured profits when the price action was right there at about 325. Again, all the more reason why breakout trading is not appropriate, because right here is right where the RSI crossed over 70. And had you used that strategy, again, not everyone uses it. It's just something that I've developed over the years and noticed it works really well for my trading style. I generally like to sell when the RSI crosses back under 70. And that's an area there right about 320. Hindsight, again, is 2020, but that would have given you more profit than being super greedy and holding until now, right? Again, there's a good chance we're probably going to see a continuation here. We got a nice little, I guess you could say, double bottom, or more important, just that lower level of 290 is holding. But it all depends on Bitcoin, how poorly or well Bitcoin does. Let's take a look here. We can see stochastics trying to swing up, but MACD is diverging, so that's generally unfavorable in the overall sense. What's really unfavorable here is the money flow index being so low. Okay, When the MFI is below the RSI, it's usually construed as a sell signal and letting you know that you shouldn't be taking a long into it. While SUI is recovering nicely and it's doing much better than most altcoins are with Bitcoin pulling back, it's still something to recognize, okay? So again, just food for thought. We're overall moving averages here. We're still maintaining this 20-day SMA here too, so that's a good sign. And so if we kind of zoom out, we can see that we're in pretty decent shape here. Yeah, we're honoring our ascending trend. Once more, I'll post a playout chart here in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly, just to give you perspective on the overview. I try not to spend too much time while I'm analyzing the charts with you and just cleaning up the charts, but this is the general consensus here. Until we lose that trend line, I don't think we have too much to worry about. Same thing here with the Ichimoku cloud. We are within the cloud. This is generally construed as a no buy zone. So yes, you're going to hear me say, do not take a long position right now because we don't have confirmation. This isn't the only thing. There's a lot of other factors we've looked at so far that show that we're still on our way down and we're more likely to see the price continue lower. Again, we saw a pretty significant continuation to the downside when Bitcoin corrected itself by a small margin. So just keep in mind, SUI, as great as it is to the upside, it can also fall pretty hard too. It's just one of those coins that usually recovers quickly, so you want to be mindful of that. But the truth is, if you're in a long position and the price pulls back really hard, you're probably going to get liquidated. So if you ever trade SUI, I think that the best strategy is just to use low leverage. That's generally the idea and the consensus, in my personal opinion, just based on years of trading and seeing a lot of destroyed traders coming over to our community. While I love working with new people, it's really frustrating to hear that people are just using an absolutely ridiculous amount of leverage. So hourly time frame, let's quickly recognize the lagging span is free and clear of the price action. It's generally a bearish sign. Conversion line is below the baseline, but we're still within the cloud. So I would say if we cannot reclaim 312 or higher today, then we're probably going to be in a position where the price action is within or below the cloud, and that's going to be construed as a sell signal. Okay, so just know I'm not telling you to short at this point, nor am I telling you to take a long. It's best to wait for confirmation, and to me, waiting for today to maintain its range right now is a good idea, because if you take a look at this recent high, you can see pretty clear that we're back up above it. And most coins are not able to do that. They aren't able to reclaim their local highs. So this is a good sign. But again, Bitcoin does feel, again, just a feeling I'm getting, that Bitcoin should pull back based on a lot of different factors there. But once more, Bitcoin's been really good about recovering and continuing higher, so we want to go under the premise that it will. So if you're in a trade already with SUI, just adjust your stop loss higher. If you're not in a trade, you're looking for a trade with SUI, wait to see if it closes above 312, or sorry, I guess more so 305, because that's the local high here. And essentially, see where that puts us at the end of today's trading day. So I'm a firm believer in waiting for confirmation, and a lot of times just waiting for the daily candlestick to close is a good start. While we can see Asian markets dump or pump as soon as they open roughly the same time, you're more likely to find success understanding how well the traditional markets held the price action, right? So again, this is kind of just some food for thought there. That's where we're at here for SUI. I personally think it's not worth taking a long just yet. Once more, we want to break free from this resistance range before we perform that of a breakout trade, right? Again, breakout traders are very low success. I can assure you, you continue to try to do that, you'll find out yourself. But take it from me, I've trial and errored the heck out of a lot of different strategies over the last 20 years. And I can tell you what, in crypto, conservative trading is probably the best way to go. All right, so just be careful. Obviously, if there's other folks telling you to take 20, 30, 40, 50x leverage trades, I think that's really bad advice personally. It's just not appropriate for longevity in the market. So either way, that's what I got there. I thank you again so much for watching. I hope you can continue to learn stuff here, of course. Make sure you watch my Bitcoin videos too, so you understand a little bit more, because that is really the foundation of where all these altcoins are surging, right? While SUI was kind of the front runner, it's definitely pulling back because Bitcoin did too. So you got to understand that. All right, be sure to check out Bitunix too, folks. Phenomenal amount of prize pool up for grabs, 60K total. We're going to probably hit our 500 million goal there. We're already halfway there, and the month's half over. So awesome stuff. And then, of course, join us over on Twitter, Telegram, or Discord if you want to kind of stay in the know with my playout charts there and just kind of recognize a few things. It's all available for you. Thank you again. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.